morning.
Hey there.
Welcome to our 2023 seminar this morning. We are going to be talking about preparing your house for sale. You're with the McIlwain group. We have Janelle McIlwain. I'm Dawn Ferguson, Tia Thompson, and Vonley Jackson is joining us virtually. So good morning, and we are going to start off this morning with
what's a good time? When is it a good time to sell? So, so that's just one of the three topics, that we're going to talk about in today's session. So this is our first table talk session for the year. So we're really excited about this and about this new format. So, for sellers, as we focus on this session about talking about sellers, that's probably the biggest question. When is it a good time to sell?
Or if it's a good time.
Or if it's a good time to sell. Exactly right. So you know what? As I think about that question, I always say it depends, because it really depends on what you as the seller, what is it that you're trying to achieve, and what is your goal? Exactly right. When are you trying to achieve this goal? So what is your time frame? So what may be a good time to sell for example, Janelle may not be a good time to sell for Dawn. So, so when you think about, we'll just use right now today with today's circumstances. Right now, we're in the midst of winter. It's January. Excuse me. So when we think about our buyers right now, you really have serious buyers. So you have buyers who want to come out here in this cold weather, right? Come out in snow, rain, come out in rain. They're serious, okay? So they're in a place where they really are motivated to get into that new home.
And they're more than that. It's not the nosy people who just want to see what's inside the house.
Exactly right. Yes, they don't have time for that when they come out in this weather.
Because it's cold.
Exactly right. Exactly. It was flurrying this morning, so people are out there looking at this time of year. Those are serious buyers. I would also say too, when you think about selling, especially as I use today, right now, as we're in the midst of winter, I was in the first of the year, a lot of businesses, large corporations and businesses, are doing relocation packages, and they're restructuring their personnel.
In the military.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Prime example, Janelle, I have a client now who's in the military, who's relocating into the area next month. So I started working with her really kind of November, December of last year to help her with this transition. So when you think about January and that first quarter, you're going to get a lot of folks who are kind of, their jobs are changing, they're relocating. And so therefore, you're going to get those serious buyers who are going to need a home rather quickly, before they start their new jobs or positions.
And so it's an even playing field now.
It is.
So we are actually now with the, it's no longer a seller's market, it's converting. So right now, everything's kind of evening out.
Yeah.
So, it's a great time for buyers because we have all of the money.
Yeah.
Great times for sellers because the sellers are able to just not have the traffic and the craziness that we had before.
And the good thing is just that the one thing that we always do is we make sure that we have our sellers understand about the changing of the market and the dynamics of the market.
Mm-hmm.
Because really the market, like you say, depends on your goals and everything.
Absolutely.
So, but I just believe that it's a great time right now, even if you're buying, because a lot of the buyers didn't get caught up in all the frenzies that went on in the last market and overbidding.
Yes.
And so now they have the money to come to the table, and like you say, it's an even playing field. So now they have the money to come to the table, and be able to make a choice on a home that they want, not in a rush.
Absolutely.
Because what happened was everybody was in a rush, and then truth be told, there's a lot of people who bought houses in that frenzy that now are regretting that they even did it because they didn't like the house no more.
Yes. And even when Tia was talking about goals, a seller could be downsizing. So this is a great time for a seller who's downsizing, where you're not having to overpay, you're not having to bid, you're not having to waive an inspection and things like that. Right. So the people who are selling purchasing, whether it's in this state or another state, it's just a good time.
And the interest rates are starting to stabilize.
Yes, we're just starting to see that a little bit this
Right.
morning, so we're excited about that. And I would also say too, for sellers, when you think about when is a good time for you to put your home on the market, I would say take advantage of the holiday season too. And the reason why I say that is that, if you're having your home, listed and it's on the market, you have your home beautifully decorated, right, for the holiday season.
Unless you're last minute person.
So people look at that. So they're like, oh, so they kind of envision themselves in this coziness of, being home for the holidays and how they would, decorate their home. So that's also a great thing to think about during that holiday season when, hey, as we get ready to approach, the end of the year, or I know it's early, let me say this, not approaching the end of the year, it's the first of the year, but if you're thinking about that time frame of kind of fall of this year, maybe early winter, that's some things to think about too.
But Tia, I went to a recent open house, and the homeowner actually happened to be there. It was not intrusive or anything, but she had the fireplace going. So when you walked in, you really felt the coziness.
Yes.
And it was actually really beautiful. And like you said, the house was decorated, very, very nice.
Because you remember, that's some of the coziness that, like, when we talk to our sellers about presentation, it starts with the curb appeal, and then when they walk inside, the flow of it. And sometimes what happens is that we can have our sellers even play, low music, so people like walking through the house, and it becomes an experience for the
Absolutely.
buyer. Yes.
And that's what you want. That's the key word there. You say experience.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's talk about the pricing.
Pricing, yes. Pricing is really important. So, pricing your home correctly is going to be really key. And pricing it correctly also determines really how many days that your property is going to be on the market as well, because buyers are looking at that. They're looking at how long has this property been on the market. So pricing becomes key. So the thing about pricing is that if you overprice your home, what happens is that your pool of buyers tends to get a little smaller. So when you think about the pool of buyers and the target demographic that you want for your home, those people that target gets a little smaller as the price goes up higher. So you want to make sure that you're properly pricing your home. Also, looking at, as I mentioned, the days on the market. Of course, your potential buyers are looking at that,
and then their agents are looking at that.
Absolutely,
their agents are looking at how long has this house been on the market, and if it's been on the house, because every month the statistics come out to say what the average daily time the house is staying on the market. So then that becomes a question too. Like, okay, so why is the house on the market so long? And remember, price and condition, if they both match, the house will sell.
Absolutely.
And it's really important that you choose the right real estate agent, the right real estate team, because pricing is so important. What you don't want to do, like Tia said, is overprice the house, because it limits your pool of buyers.
Or underprice.
Yes.
Or underprice.
Now, this is the thing. Your appraisal is going to be the appraisal.
Exactly right.
So you can take that house sky high. By the time the appraisal comes in and the price is where we told you it should be.
Right.
That's what you're going to sell it for anyway.
Right.
So you have to choose the right professional. Anybody can go get a license, but it does not mean with our team, we are pricing specialists, we're military relocation. We are seller specialists, buyer specialists, new home certification, seniors. So our group is very
nice.
We have diverse
experience.
So,
I like that.
Diverse experience.
So
I would also, just keep in mind too, I would say about the whole pricing thing is, a lot of statistics also show that when you have a lot of price reductions in the listing price, when you start to decrease that price, that it takes 3 times as much time to get that house sold versus homes that are actually priced just right. So these are just things to kind of consider, and then allow your realtor to do what we call a comparative market analysis. That is what we do to help understand what's happening, in the market, where you live, to help price the house right.
And
So
look at the competition that's in the area that's surrounding.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because if you try to, if you have one house that's priced really, really high and 3 or 4 that's priced in the middle range, what'll happen is your home may not even come up in the search. It is incorrectly priced too high. So then you're trying to figure out, why did these houses down here sell? Well, it's because those houses were properly, even marketing. I mean, they were properly priced in the beginning, so they fell within the competition. So then when one client saw one, they saw the other and the others. Yours didn't pop up because it was way over what it should have been.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's some great conversation about, pricing. But how do sellers really prepare their homes for the sale? So let's talk about that a little bit.
Now, in preparing your, what I always tell my clients, number one, in preparing your home to sell, you've got to declutter.
Yes.
That's probably, when I walk into a property, that is going to be the number one thing, declutter. What we want our potential buyers to do when they walk into, we want them to be able to, number one, go through with ease. We want them to be able to picture their furniture in here. So the other thing, take down all personal photographs. Take down, you want it very simple. I would not suggest doing any major repair, or not a repair, a major upgrade or renovation. 9 times out of 10, you're not getting your money out of it. So if you go through and get a $25,000 kitchen, you're not going to recoup that $25,000.
Right.
So
Sometimes simple paint.
it could be a paint, it could be an appliance, buy a refrigerator for a few thousand. It could be something very, very tiny. But 9 times out of 10, we've got to get the house decluttered, even if it's to the point of getting a pod to sit out front or getting a storage unit to throw that crap into.
Right. So, think about it, remember, you're selling anyway, so you might as well start boxing stuff.
Yes,
exactly right. Things that you're not using, just box it up anyway. Yes. And that helps you get into the mindset of, hey, I'm selling this house.
Yes.
So when you start boxing things up and putting things away that you're not going to use, it really kind of helps your psyche in a sense to say, okay, let's keep focused on the goal is to sell the house. So, and then I would say even when we talk about decluttering, staging can help too. And you can even stage with your own belongings.
Yes.
So
minimal stuff.
Minimal stuff.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
So if you want to save the expense of hiring someone to come and stage your home with your own personal belongings.
Oh,
yeah. Once you declutter, just keep it very simple.
Yeah, it could be a tree. It could be a plan. It could be photographs, pictures, art. There are several things that you can do with the.
I'm sorry, but what the goal of it is to get the buyer in the house, to see if the buyer is interested in the home, not for the buyer to be going around looking at pictures to see if I recognize. I think I'm at the store. That's not the whole point.
Right.
The house. We want them to come to the house. If they're interested in the house, and place it all from the house.
Right.
Not, let me get some decorating out. That's not what they're there for. So decluttering is so important. When we talk about pictures. We talked about a few minutes ago, having that experience. We want the buyer to walk through and have an experience where they're like, this is it. This is
over that fireplace, I could put my whatever.
Right, and that's what you want. When they walk in the house, you want them to envision putting their belongings in that space. And that's what they do. I mean, we see that time and time again. They come in and they start placing things in the house, which is great. It's a good sign. That's a positive thing. And I would also say, take the extra little time to landscape the front of your house. That's
curb appeal.
Curb appeal, absolutely.
Curb
appeal. Pull if it's spring or summertime. Let's take a little time to get those weeds out of there, out your flower bed. Maybe even trim up the trees a little bit. Throw some mulch down. Trust me, we have been in situations where we have become landscapers. Yes. Painting. And little hardware on the cabinets.
Hardware on the cabinets.
Yes.
Could make a difference.
It's simple and expensive, but it makes such an impact when people comfortable.
Yes.
Because remember, women, we like our kitchens, we like our bathrooms, men like the basements, they like the garage, sheds.
Absolutely.
Curb appeal is so important. How many times have you been with a buyer and you pull up to the front of the house and like, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But then when you go in the house is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you want that curb appeal to continue
Continue
inside.
Because
Absolutely.
you just have
You
some
want that
buyers
welcoming.
who,
Absolutely.
they love landscaping, they love land, and when they pull up and they see the house, they already start beginning to have negative thoughts about what the house is going to look at, like when they get inside the house. And so what we want them to do is to have the excitement of when they pull up and the excitement of when they go in. And remember, especially if we have a sign in the yard, when people drive by, that's what they're looking at too.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes, they are.
Absolutely. I've had clients where we, unfortunately pull up and they're like, they pull up next to me, roll down the window, like, you can go to the next one.
They've never eaten stuff.
And there's no food in it. I'm like, oh no, we can go to the next one.
We don't get it, and then if you encourage them, like, don't you want to go see?
You're right,
You take a look.
Yeah. So
That yard looks like a lot of work.
And you gotta remember, and sometimes it's just that those first impressions.
Yeah.
You never lose. They just don't go away from person. You go in there and say the other house is really nice, but then they are. You see?
Yeah.
And that goes both ways. So, when you're deciding on a home and you get that first impression of something beautiful, something that you love, you go home, you talk about it, you keep thinking about it.
You don't want to be talking about that jacked up y'all.
Right. You want to be the one like, wow, that house to be so, you know what, Tia, that house be so today. I love it. Let's go put that on.
I might have to just do a little bit here, a little bit there to the house, but it can work.
Yeah.
And then what we have to also, a good agent will remind their buyers that there is no perfect home. So all homes have something. The question is there enough positive in the home to make it so that you want to put a contract on it? Because you have to remember, especially when we talk about homes that are resale, these are other people's homes, so they've decorated them or done whatever that they want to do with them. Can you come in with a vision and see you putting yourself there?
Absolutely.
Because if you're coming to find a perfect home, it does not exist. Even with new construction.
Even with new construction.
Yeah, you can go and you can have everything, specified how you want it. And then when you go in the house, it doesn't mean that it's going to be what you want as a buyer when you come through the house.
Right. Because that house was beautiful until I had to climb 50 steps to get to my bedroom.
So like I say, and that's the whole thing about the buyer-seller experience. If you have a good buyer's agent, they will explain. That's why you have a buyer consultation.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we do the seller consultation.
Absolutely.
So that the seller understands and knows what to expect. And just like with the buyer, so they know what to expect too.
And that's what I like about our team, because when we do the seller consultation that Janelle is speaking of, it literally is a team. It's at least two of us that go in. We kind of walk you through the process, and then actually go through your home and just kind of get an idea of ways that we can help you to get the house sold. So if it could be giving you some, some tidbits or recommendations on how to kind of declutter a little bit, we'll definitely walk you through that process. And then also point out the awesome features of the house that we want to focus on.
And what we can do to bring out those features.
Exactly right.
And one thing that we do too, in light of COVID, which is still prevalent, and there actually is a new strand, we make sure that your family's safe.
Absolutely.
So for our sellers, we have booties, so the shoes are covered. We have hand sanitizer, gloves. We have masks. We suggest that also when you're leaving your homes, your buyer can come in, leave the lights on, leave the closets open. The less they can touch, the better. Lysol, spray those knobs. So we want your family to be safe. So we have a package that we give you to make sure that everyone who comes in at least is protected.
And that's why we make sure that we don't have a lot of things in the house that will distract from the buyer looking at the house, because we want the buyer to get in the house, see if they like the house, and to get out the house.
Yeah.
Not to sit there and start going through, spending, especially when you have a buyer. I mean, like I say, some houses aren't for buyers.
Yeah.
But we don't need a buyer who is not even interested in this house, staying in this house for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever. Because one, it prevents the next buyer from coming in. And two, we want you to get in and get out.
Yeah.
And then we also give them the, a spray of the Lysol spray, so that when the seller comes back home, they can themselves disinfect to their satisfaction.
Absolutely.
So, not, having it on the next person to do it, but they can come in and spray down everything.
Right.
Because we do take this serious.
Absolutely.
And one thing that we do too, we actually like to share the feedback.
Yes.
So when the buyers do come into the home, and we do like to share the feedback with it. Everyone has something. It could be that purple bedroom that you have that, let's just see, you didn't want to, and that could be something that's distracting. In every feedback session, everything was fine, but that purple bedroom or whatever it is, but we do share the feedback with you, so you're very aware. We keep you aware of things that are going on with your home. So like Janelle said, price and condition.
Yeah, those are two things.
And price and condition. If the price is right, if the condition is right, your home is selling. If it's wrong, your house is going to sit.
And I would also say too, when you get to the place where it's on the market and you start doing the showings and you're opening your house up to that, I always recommend for my clients or my sellers to open up the blinds, let the natural light shine in so they can see. Exactly. It's really hard to come into a dark house. Nobody wants to come into a dark house.
They have to turn on lights.
And turn on lights and footlights, because then what happens, they're touching stuff. When we talk about COVID and things like that, they're touching, light switches and fiddling around trying to get some light into the home. So anytime that you're open that window where it's a showing window, open up your blinds, even pull them all the way up if you need to. If you know that, especially as we get into the winter months, the sun is kind of a little bit different and you may not be getting that sun, at least during the showing, maybe, turn on some lights so that people can actually see the property. And it's just for a short period of time, because at the end, you're going to get that house sold, and that little bit of time that you have those lights on, it's going to mean nothing to me.
Yeah. And it's always good to even have a bin, like a bin in the kitchen, that when we say, okay, we have a showing at 4, you can toss all that stuff in the bin and toss it in the pantry or put it in the basement, and you know what, especially if you're moving, it's okay to have a room, and this is the corner of the basement where our boxes are, right? Because you are packing. I mean, the reality of it is you're packing, but when you first walk in, it's like, oh wow, no one lives here. It's so clean. It's so decluttered. It's so it's always good to have that bin. Yeah. You just finished washing dishes. Your drain is thrown in the dishwasher. Yeah. Put in the bin just to get that stuff and just to put it away. Yeah.
Because remember, a seller needs to imagine themselves as if they were getting ready to purchase a home.
Yes.
So what I always do is when we go on our seller consultations, I have the seller come to the front of the house and we open the door and let them see what they see. Mm-hmm. And if you were the buyer, what would you think?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I would say probably within the first, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 seconds when they walk in, they kind of know if this is it or not. I know I did that when I bought my house. As soon as I walked in, I was like, oh my goodness, this is it. And I didn't even walk the rest of the house. I just stepped in the front door and I hadn't seen nothing else. So that's the wow experience that you want to be able to give to those buyers, to get them in the mindset like, okay, this is it. This is the home that I want to place my offer on. This is where, we're going to call home for my family.
You also want to be conscious of smells.
Yes.
So we have had situations. And we actually had situations with smokers.
And legal and non.
Yes. And I will tell you that can be a definite turnoff. So that is one thing, getting the smoke. And actually, it's very expensive to get that smoke smell out of the house. So, smells can be an issue. And I would say probably feedback. That's probably been one of our biggest ones, are the smokers. Yes. I know with me personally, if I walk in a house and it smells like smoke, I'm done. Yeah. I don't care what the house looks like. Yeah. And, that's just me personally. So, we very are conscious of smells, and using the Febreze and the little air fresheners all over the place, and the baking soda.
Because what happens is
corner.
sometimes if you're living in the house and that you're used to it, you don't really pick up on you don't pick up on it. Whereas other people do.
Immediately.
Absolutely.
And so, like you're right, with the breezy area and little air fresheners. Remember that if they're the plug-in air fresheners, you have to be careful when they get to a certain point so that they don't catch on fire. Because I know a lot of people that we have with our vacant homes, they will put those little air fresheners in there just so that the air isn't stale. Right. But what we have to continue to remind them is that they need to check on them and make sure that they're not too low, that it could cause an issue. I just think that, it's worthwhile. Just imagine yourself, and that's what I tell people, imagine yourself if you were purchasing a home. Would you purchase this home? Yes. I mean, even from, the beginning of the doormat. Yeah. The welcome doormat. Yeah. I mean, we've had people who've had, and then some things about a home are very simple to correct.
Absolutely.
That you can just run the home. Yeah, run the home Depot or Lowe's and take care of it. You have cracks. I mean, it's like it's so easy, but sometimes, like some people may say, I can fix that. That's not a problem. Then other people, that's all they're focused on. Yeah.
So a perfect example is a hairline driveway crack or something like that.
Or a hairline in the cement walkway.
Yeah, very, very simple. Very simple, not expensive to get fixed, very simple. Whereas a buyer coming up, a first-time buyer, could be intimidated by something so tiny.
And even, simple things as caulking. Caulking is the most inexpensive thing you can do. And it's really the simplest thing. And the simplest thing, absolutely. I mean, you may not have the most home improvement, you may not be that skilled, that skilled at that, but caulking, I bet you can do that. So that helps too, because then, they're not seeing and focusing on cracks and things that are really not imperfections. That's correct. Thank you. They're not focused on imperfections, and we don't want them focusing on those things that are really not true structural issues or concerns about the house. So that's a way in which we can prevent those kind of conversations and thoughts from entering into the buyer's mind.
And then while we're talking about that, we need to also remember to sellers that you have to be honest with buyers. There's certain things that they're called, latent defects within a home that are not seen, but the seller knows exist. And so those are things that you really have to disclose. Don't think by hiding. For example, you have a bathroom leak, and what you do is you paint the ceiling so that the bathroom leak doesn't show. Do the right thing. Let's figure out where the leak is coming from. Let's get the leak fixed, and let's disclose, because when first of all, it's against the law not to disclose the defects, and second of all, once something like that has been uncovered, your buyers are now suspicious of the whole house.
Right.
Yes. They're suspicious of the whole house. So if they're like, okay, they had to know that this was here. And they didn't disclose it to us. Now everything is going to be nitpicked. Yes. Whereas it may not have been like that had we just been honest and disclosed in the beginning.
And the thing is that you could have very well had a bathroom leak 2 years ago that was repaired. And it's okay to list that. It's okay to say there was a broken pipe, fixed, mitigated, whatever, and here's the paperwork. Or even to say I had a leaky roof, the roof is 3 years old, here's the paperwork. I mean, it's just as easy to do the right thing. And the thing is, it's going to be found out.
That was just and how do we find out?
It's coming out.
It will get revealed in a inspection. So
and remember, if it's a latent defect that you should have known about, and even if you sell, there are legal ramifications that a buyer can take towards the seller.
So, and one thing, the paperwork. So it's very important to have a realtor too that is going to go over that paperwork. There is a lot of paperwork for sellers to sign, and a lot of people will just send it to them and they're DocuSigning. They have no idea what they're signing. It's good to have a realtor who is explaining. We're not attorneys, but we can
tell you what it says.
Tell you exactly. Okay, this is what you're signing. This is what may happen. And a part of our seller packet is to even show you what a contract looks like. So when you get an offer, you're not confused on, okay, where is everything? At least you've looked at it before.
And even for sell by owners, we assist for sell by owners.
Yes, absolutely.
Because there is certain paperwork that are for sell by owner should include when they're selling their home. And by not including that, they could be doing some violations of law too.
Right. And not really aware, and
There's no intent, but
there's no
intent
intent, exactly
exists.
right.
Lead disclosure. I mean, something as
Exactly
simple as
right.
a lead disclosure. So
Exactly right. So these are good conversations. We have to think about a lot of things.
That's what we do.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. I know we have Bonnie. Bonnie, I don't know if you can hear us or not, or is there anything else that you wanted to add, from your perspective? I don't know if she's on there.
Hey ladies. Yeah, no, we covered a lot of great topics. And I think it's very important that our sellers know that at the end of the day, we have their back when it comes to selling their home, and why it's important for them to sell their home at this current time within the market. As we touched on, there are only serious buyers and sellers out there right now currently, and what to really look for and what we look for when we're going through the home, when we're having that seller consultation, really trying to put them in the buyer's seat, because a lot of our sellers are also going to be buying as well. So it's important that they know what is going on in the market, what the interest rates look like, why there is more of a pool of buyers out there right now than there were before, why now is a better time to sell than it was at the peak of COVID. A lot of things that we touched on, I think, are really great. I don't really have anything more to add. I think you ladies covered it fantastically.
And I think one of the things it just came to mind too is the whole when you think about, we'll go back quickly about the pricing piece of it, and I think Janelle and Dawn probably hit on those things that will cause the home to not sell, which is condition, pricing, but also the marketing piece of it. And that's where we get very involved in the marketing piece of your home. So there's a lot of things that we do that are more than just listing your house on the MLS and just putting it out there and hoping it'll stick and somebody will.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we market on social media, in between the realtors as well, create landing pages. It's not that we're just marketing your home and just putting it on the MLS and saying, here you go. No, we're actually putting it on there for everyone to see. Reverse prospecting is another thing that we do. So we are really touching on those other realtors who have clients that are even just looking at your home to say, you know what, hey, this home is currently available on the market. I see that you have a buyer interested. Let's schedule a showing. So we really try to make sure that we touch on this piece in the most holistic fashion to do right by you as the seller.
And we do have price points. So you can have the Cadillac coverage, or you can have the Honda coverage.
It depends on the something.
If you want the coverage,
and then depending in either coverage you get, you still get the professional standards absolutely that we provide.
Yes,
absolutely.
And then we know we have strategies in place to adjust to what's happening in the market, or to adjust to some of maybe the feedback that we're receiving about the showing of the house. Also, we're finding probably right now in this market that we have to really do more open houses, and sometimes on every weekend that might be the case just because the market has slowed down a little bit.
And the reason why we have to do it, and think about it, at first it used to be, I don't think that's wrong. No, it used to be where they were unrepresented buyers to open houses. Now we're finding out that we're actually doing open houses, and other realtors are sending their clients to see the house, to see if they have an interest in the house.
Yes.
So it's like we're helping to keep the house open for others that don't have the ability to take their client to the house.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again,
we don't have a problem with it.
And we don't.
No, right.
We will be there,
buyers.
smiling, so excited to see you. So, so I think that, we really do have, there's a team effort with the McIlwain group. We have varying experiences and, like I said before, a very diverse group in our experiences. And then one thing I love about how we work together as a team is that we do share, some of the things that we experience out there. There may be things out there, I think Janelle has the most experience of the team, that maybe Dawn and I will come back with, and that might be something new that, you know, even with her 15, 20 plus years of experience that she's never had to deal with before. So we're really good about sharing information, staying current, staying up to date, making sure we stay in touch with our clients, whether we sold you a home or if we helped you to buy a home. So we make sure that we have touch points throughout the year with our clients, because we're very appreciative that you chose to, you know, to do business with us, and we don't take that for granted.
And you know, something behind the scenes that people may not know is that we meet weekly.
Yes.
We get together once a week. We talk daily. But we get together once a week to just kind of strategize, to review. And you know, it's great because like Tia said, it may be something that's going on that maybe Tia had an issue that I may be dealing with now, or and the beauty of it is when you work with our team, it's seamless. We take vacations, we have families, we have a life outside of real estate, but it's seamless to our clients because if it's vacation time, Tia may have my client. And the beauty of it is because Tia and I went on that listing appointment together, and Janelle is the one who set up the open house, and Vonley is the one who's, so it's all seamless. So you're getting all four of us. So when we are not available, or if I can't do the show,
one of us is available.
Somebody is always available, right? So you may deal with me on one thing, Tia something else, Vonley and Janelle. So in this transaction, you have 4 agents.
Yeah, and you will most likely deal with at least 2 to 3 of us anyway within our transaction.
Yes,
like so. He's our client care specialist. He's the one that makes sure that everything is going great for you. If you have any questions, and so that you're right. That's the kind of beauty of it. Yeah. The weekly strategy, the strategy meetings that we have is to look at the property that we have to see what we need to do, if we're doing everything that we should be doing, and maybe some ideals that may help, especially if it's a property, because the season is changing a little bit. So what are some of the things that we felt like open houses?
Yeah.
Like we said, the open houses now we're agents are sending new clients to open houses. Absolutely. And so we're like, okay, bring them on.
Yes.
Because our interest is for the client's best interest. And if it's to keep the open house so that someone can bring a client through, I said we're gonna do it.
That's
we're gonna do what's gonna take.
Absolutely. Yes.
Finally, did we touch on it?
I think we did. We got everything else. Yeah, I think we're good to go there. So, we really appreciate you taking the time to either join us live or just taking the time to look at this video. That be on the YouTube channel. That's right. That's where you can find all of our home. We did home buying seminars last year. That was a focus. This year we're kind of changing it up a little bit. We're having our real estate table talks. So there's more to come. We have these table talks every second Saturday of the month. So feel free to join us every second Saturday of the month. And if you missed a session, the fantastic thing is that we have a YouTube channel so that we can Facebook. Yep, we can play these videos at any time that you choose to. So next month, do we know who our
yes, our lender next month is going to be Melinda Hill Williams. So we are going to be talking about
is it a good time to buy? That's the focus.
Is it a good time to buy? Yep. So we're going to have a guest lender. So make sure you like our Facebook page, the McIlwain Group, and keep up with what we're doing.
Yes, and the next one we have is February 11th at 11 o'clock, correct, Lisa?
Correct.
Okay. So thank you for joining us.
Yes.
I'm Janelle.
I'm Dawn.
I'm Tia. And then there's
There's Vonley.
Hey, I'm Vonley.
Feel free to reach out to us if you have any additional questions. We're here. Our information will be in the text of the YouTube or the Facebook. We actually have it where no matter what time of day it is that you call, that we have people available. Of course, if it's at a certain particular time, we may return the call the next day. Well, the call never gets unanswered.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, you had that question.
Feel free to call. Now, you may your phone call will be returned the next day, but the point is that your phone call will be received. So we thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to see you again next month. It's Table Talk with the McIlwain Group of Samson Properties. Stay blessed.